Hello and welcome to Prep Smart. So today we are going to discuss about the Indian Express articles of 30th June. So in today's newspaper analysis, these are the three major newses that we are going to discuss about. First, we are going to talk about the Upper Yamuna River Board Agreement. Then we are going to talk about the use of AI to analyze the Konkan petroglyphs that has been discovered, and then we are fighting for them to get UNESCO World Heritage recognition for those petroglyphs. And then from the Indian Express explained side, we are going to talk about the Iran wants to charge for the navigation fee for using Strait of Hormuz. So, the first news that we are going to cover is the Rajasthan and Haryana signed an MOU to operationalize the 1994 Upper Yamuna River Board Agreement. Okay, so what is basically Upper Yamuna River Board Agreement? So this was a river board agreement that was signed in 1994, as we can already see. And as per this Yamuna River Board Agreement, the Yamuna River Basin states, that is the state of the Himachal Pradesh, then the state of Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana, and the national capital of Delhi. Okay, all these 5 states and later along with that Uttarakhand also added. So all of these states can use the water of the river Yamuna, that is they can use the surface river flow of the river Yamuna. Okay, now that was determined during the Upper Yamuna River Board Agreement. Now if we talk about Rajasthan, many of the districts of Rajasthan which is nearby to Haryana, they were having a major water scarcity issue because of the existing water canal that was supplying water to Rajasthan, that was coming from the top of the soil. So there was a problem of evaporation, and there was also problem of inefficient use of the water. So now to resolve this recent MOU has signed, which is resolving almost a 30-year-old dispute regarding Yamuna water allocation. Okay, so to supply the 4 major districts of Rajasthan, the water will be supplied through 3 underground pipelines. So this will solve the problem of water evaporation and also inefficient water distribution. Okay, so these are the 4 districts in Rajasthan where this water will be mostly supplied. So these are the districts are the Rajasthan, Jhunjhunu, Churu, Hanumangarh and Sikar districts. Now what is important here, while this MOU was signed, so Haryana CM Nayab Singh Saini and Rajasthan's counterpart Bhajan Lal Sharma was present along with the Union Minister Amit Shah, Home Minister Amit Shah. So there he talked about the concept of cooperative federalism. Okay, cooperative federalism is a very important theme, very important topic in UPSC CSE mains, right? Through cooperative federalism, we see that there is center-state coordination, also coordination among the states, right? Because here the 2 states coming in a consensus to use the water of the river Yamuna, so that the problem of water shortage in some of the districts of Rajasthan can be solved. Okay. So this also demonstrates a consensus-based approach to resolve the interstate river dispute. So this is the current affairs part. Now, apart from this current affair, we also have to cover about the static part, that is the interstate river distribution problems. Okay. So for that, from the polity section, GS2 policy, the article that is most important for us to remember is Article 262. Okay, so Article 262 of Indian Constitution talks about interstate river water disputes. Okay, so there are two clauses of interstate river water disputes, Article 262. The first clause talks about that Parliament may make laws for adjudication of disputes relating to the use, distribution, or control of the water of any interstate river or river valley. So, who has the law making authority under Article 262? Parliament has the law making authority if there is any issues regarding the interstate river water distribution. And in past also we know many such disputes has arrived regarding Kaveri river water distribution, Narmada river water distribution, etc. Now, the clause 2 of Article 262 talks about Parliament may provide that neither the Supreme Court nor any other court shall exercise jurisdiction over such disputes. So, if such disputes arise, the Supreme Court or any other court of the country do not have any jurisdiction over such disputes. So then if this kind of disputes arise, where will be the aggrieved party or the state specifically will go for? So for that, there are certain laws under Article 262. First is the Interstate River Water Disputes Act, right? This one. Interstate River Water Dispute Act 1956, which basically talks about if there is any kind of dispute, there will be a specific water dispute tribunal formed, and those tribunals will look for the dispute resolution. Okay, again, no Supreme Court, no any other court, specific water dispute tribunals under Interstate River Water Disputes Act 1956. Apart from that, this Article 262 also talks about the River Boards Act 1956, which will also used or formed for the regulation and development of the interstate rivers. But one catch here is that no river board has been constituted under this act so far. So this is a very important point. They can quick this statement in the question, in the PYQ, in the MCQ, and they can make you fall for the loop. Okay, so please remember that. Now, after this, the next news that we are going to cover is this one. So, Maharashtra is going to use AI to analyze Konkan petroglyphs. Now, what are petroglyphs? So, here in the image, you can see the image of a petroglyph, which is basically a stone carving found in the Sindhudurg and Ratnagiri districts of Maharashtra. Petroglyphs are basically images that are curved or engraved on natural rock surfaces. Okay, so what kind of images are found? Human figures are found. Okay, apart from that, animal figures are also found. So these are known as the petroglyph. Now, what is the historical significance and why we are concerned about this particular topic? First, let us understand that what is the context. Basically, these petroglyphs were already added in the temporary list of UNESCO World Heritage Site recognition in 2022. But since then, it has not been getting a permanent position as the UNESCO World Heritage Site recognition. That is why now Maharashtra government has given the role to the IIT Madras to use for the AI, that is artificial intelligence, so to analyze, classify and interpret these ancient petroglyphs so that they can find their position in the upcoming UNESCO World Heritage Site declaration. Okay, now if we talk about that what is the historical significance, the historical significance is that first of all its timeline. So these are estimated to 20,000 BC to 10,000 BC below. So if we know about the Harappan civilization, the Harappan civilization existed only regarding 1300 BC up to 300 BC, 1300 BC, right? So as we can see that this particular petroglyphs are way more older. Okay, these are way more older than Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization. Okay, so that is all obviously very important, and that is why they are believed to be the earliest evidence of art on the Indian subcontinent. And which particular era they belong to? It has been believed that they belong to the Mesolithic period. Okay, they belong to the Mesolithic period. Now, what are the some other points that we need to take care of here? Okay, so if when the excavators carefully visited the petroglyphs and they are using AI to analyze about the petroglyphs and their patterns and they want to classify them, so they have noticed one particular thing. Okay, there in the diagrams, different animals are given, different animals images are present, but there is no particular depiction of horses or the bulls. So in the petroglyphs, there are different animals, as I have already said, has been seen, like turtles, peacocks, okay, and such other animals are also mentioned. But there is no carving depicting the horses and the bulls. Whereas we can see in especially Indus Valley civilization, bulls were very prominent in the Indus Valley civilization images. Right? So that means, according to the archaeologists, this indicates that these carvings were created before domestication of animals and before agriculture started. Okay, because there is no presentation of bulls, so they are thinking about this is coming during the period where the humans were hunter-gatherers rather than they didn't know how to do cultivation, and that is why they also believe that this particular petroglyphs belong to the Mesolithic period. Okay, now after this, the next important news is this one. In the explain section of Indian Express, it has been talking about that Iran is planning to charge fee for using the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so as we already know that Strait of Hormuz is now a point of news for more than 3-4 months, right? So what is the importance of Strait of Hormuz? That we all know. Strait of Hormuz is one of the natural strait that is present in the Western Asia. Now, in the northern parts of Strait of Hormuz, there is Iran, and in the southern part of Strait of Hormuz, there is Oman. So these two countries are basically controlling the territorial water in the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, and if we talk about what are the two water bodies this particular strait connects, so it connects the Persian Gulf with Gulf of Oman, which ultimately leads to the Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea. Now, why the Strait of Hormuz is important? Because around 20 to 25% of global oil and most of the LNG export has been seen to pass through this particular strait, right? So that is one of the most important maritime choke points, and that is why we know that there is a tussle happening between Iran and USA, and after that Iran blocked the Strait of Hormuz. Now the Strait of Hormuz now again partially open, but Iran is thinking of charging fee if the naval fleet is using the Strait of Hormuz. Now for that there are certain laws which talks about the use of international water under the UN clause. Okay. Now, as per UN clause, there are certain relevant articles regarding UN clause that is very important for us to understand. So there are Article 37 to Article 44, which talks about the transit passage through the international streets. So basically, Article 37 to Article 44 talks about transit passage. Now, transit passage talks about uninterrupted transit of ships and aircrafts. Okay, this happens over the international water. International water. So that is why countries cannot suspend. Okay, it is not suspendable. that they cannot sustain that, okay, this particular ship or aircraft cannot flow over the international territory or international water of that particular country. But there is also Article 17 and Article 19, which talks about the right of innocent passage. Now, innocent passage is this particular right talks about passage of basically the ships over the territorial water. Okay, it talks about the passage of ships over the territorial water. Now, in this particular regard, if any ship is having an innocent passage, as per UN clause, the country cannot stop that, except there are certain situation arrives, say for example war, or they are fearing of some kind of attack or some kind of security related threats. In that cases, they can stop the innocent passage if it is not innocent passage. Okay, so these are the relevant UN clause articles that we need to take care of. Now, what is Iran's proposal here? Iran is talking about that they may start charging fees if any ship is flowing over the Strait of Hormuz. Because of the navigation charges, they want to have some revenue out of it, and also they want to charge for the environmental protection fees. Now, as per UN clause, is it possible? As per UN clause, it is actually not possible, because unlike the artificial canals which has been charged, and which Iran can also propose as an excuse that there are charges being taken in the Suez Canal or Panama, but those are the like artificial canals that is made and controlled by the respective states, right? But Strait of Hormuz is not an artificial canal, but it's a natural strait. Okay, and in that particular case, the territorial countries, the bordering countries, they cannot go and claim for any fees. Okay, although Iran also has their own side of clauses, they are talking about that they are using the persistent objector doctrine. Now, what is this persistent objector doctrine? As per the persistent objector doctrine, because from the starting of the UN clause laws that were being made, Iran is a signatory of UN clause. It's a signatory, but it has not yet ratified. Okay, so Iran has not ratified yet, and from the very starting, it has been opposing many of the laws under UN clause. Okay, so that is why it can say that, okay, from the very start we are opposing certain laws, and that is why now we are also saying all the same thing. So we can go by using the persistent objector doctrine and charge for the fees which are using the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what is the relevance there? As Strait of Hormuz is one of the most crucial channels or the choke points in the globe, and very huge amount of energy, specifically crude oil, natural gas, all of these things, fertilizers also, all of these things pass through the Strait of Hormuz. So it will become a huge problem for the companies or the investors, those who have their bids on the Strait of Hormuz. That is obviously going to increase the economic fares and the international as well as the domestic prices of the energy supplies. So that is why it's a very huge matter of concern. Okay, so for today, these are the three major newses that I needed to cover. Okay, and here also I have talked about that about UN clause. You can also read this. So I will upload this PDF in my channel. So if you want, you can just scan this particular barcode and join the Prep Smart channel, where every day I will be uploading the PDFs of newspaper analysis and also the practice MCQ questions. So I would encourage you to join there, and also if you have any suggestions, please let me know below in your comments. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.